All right, good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I will determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you are the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We will set your conditions of pretrial release this morning. That is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We will let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I will happily appoint the public defender to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, none but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Shirley Hughes. Morning, Shirley. What's your date of birth?
Good morning, April 13th, 1919.
Very good. Shirley, you're here on a warrant was signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for one count of trespass. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
No, sir. I represent myself.
Very good. State?
This is an odd one. She has 3 misdemeanor violations of probation, and I have absolutely no idea what that means.
Okay. All right. Shirley, where you been staying lately?
Down the street from work.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
Cook.
Where do you cook?
At Cheddar's.
Okay. Set your bond at $500, Shirley. I'll have you back in court on the 14th of March, all right?
Very well.
Very good. Brenda Zimmerman. Well, Brenda, what's your date of birth?
4/28/76.
Brenda, you're here on a warrant that I signed. You failed to appear in my court on a charge of battery. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire private counsel? Or would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you tell me. Hang on one second.
Like, Zimmerman has 2 priors for sale of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, petty theft in 2013. It's like a battery and disorderly conduct. The state was offering her case in adjudication 12 months probation, 12 hours anger management, no contact with the victim, 50 hours community service.
Brenda, you wanting to talk to a lawyer first? You want to take, or offering you probation today if you want to take it?
Yes, I'll take it.
Very good. I'll unappoint the public defender. Brenda, you understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer represent you. But you are willing to give up those rights so that we can resolve your case today?
Yes, sir.
Case number 17 MM4590. As to the charge of battery, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea, find that it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 12 months of probation. While you're on probation, it was an 8-hour, Joe?
It was 12 hours.
12-hour anger management course and no contact. Was that it?
Yes. No
Yes, sir.
Hang on.
In fact, the results of 50 hours community service and asked for a reservation on restitution. There's investigative costs to the sheriff's office of $184.20 as well.
Okay. So I'll put you on probation for 12 months, Brenda. I have you within the first 60 days enroll in and thereafter successfully complete a 12-hour anger management course. Do 50 hours of community service. If you wish, you can buy any or all of that off at $10 an hour. I'll have you pay the sheriff's office their investigative costs, which is $184.20. The Finding court costs is $830. While you're on probation, you'll have no contact with the alleged victim in this matter. If you get busy and get everything done, Brenda, you can get off probation as soon as you're finished. So if there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you're going to be released today. I'm going to have you report to county probation no later than 4 o'clock on Monday, February 26, 2018. So
Yes, sir.
make sure you get to probation when you get out, all right?
And that's misdemeanor or?
That's misdemeanor.
Go
Go
on.
ahead.
Okay, yes, sir. Also, as soon as I'm done with everything, I can come in and recommit and get in front of you to get it taken care of?
It's automatic.
To be-
As soon as everything's
Okay.
done, your probation is over.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good luck. Incoming. Sorry. Shelby Lindner Odell. Shelby, what's your date of birth?
2/20/98.
Shelby, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As for the charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel, or would you like the public defender?
I'll represent myself.
All right. And state any history?
No history, Your Honor.
And Shelby, I have an address for you on Flamingo Lane in Dade City. Is that where you live?
Bridge Manor.
Bridge Manor. Okay. And you live with Carlos?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
Shelby, I'm going to set your bond at $10. Condition of the bond is that any contact that you and Carlos have, if you choose to have contact, will be peaceful contact. That, of course, it's always a crime to touch each other in any way that you don't want to be touched. If either one of you has contact that can't be described as peaceful, you could find yourself back in jail without bond. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll have you back in court on the 14th of March.
Will do, sir.
Thank you.
Are you not ordering the wholesale court on that one, Your Honor?
They're both in jail.
Oh, missed that part.
Yeah. Carlos Rodriguez Vega. Morning, Carlos. What's your date of birth?
March 17, 1991.
And Carlos, I have that address on Flamingo Lane. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
And the charge, of course, is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. You want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'll represent myself.
Very good. And state any history?
Just a moment, Your Honor. I have some help.
Missed the connection.
Yeah, I understand.
I only caught it at the last minute. But I'm old and wired up.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. My name's different. I show no history for Mr. Rodriguez, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Carlos, same deal for you. It's a $10 bond. Peaceful contact. You heard me explain that a second ago, I assume?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Also, we'll have you back on the 14th of March. Make sure you get there to court on time, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good luck.
What time will the court
9
be?
a.m. on the 14th.
Thank you.
Robert Gotts. Robert, what's your date of birth?
June 13, 1987.
Robert's charge is trespass. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
This is public defender, sir. It was
Stop. Don't talk about the facts. Yeah, don't talk about the facts, Robert. The facts may be very good for you, but I'm going to appoint the public defender, and you're going to go see him and talk to him about the facts. But don't say anything in front of me because you're under oath right now, and it's being recorded, okay? All right. And state any history.
Unfortunately, Mr. Gotts was here yesterday morning and took a plea to probation before he was released. So this is going to be a pending violation.
Okay. Any other history?
Yes, Your Honor, I think it was he had a stalking case and a violation of probation in 2014 and 2015.
Okay.
Yesterday he took 12 months probation for theft, and I think there was a second count of trespassing.
Okay. All right. And Robert, I have an address for you on Anchor Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
For 4.5 years, 5 years, 2114 Anchor Avenue.
Okay. And do you have a job these days?
I'm trying to look for a job now, currently.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $500. If you have not reported the probation yet, when you get out, you should do that, and you should do that right away and talk to them and see what they might do, okay? Because there certainly is the potential that they'll swear out an affidavit for a violation. You need to be in contact with them about that, okay? You'll be back in court on this on the 14th of March. Thank you.
Thank you.
William Hoffman. Morning, William. What's your date of birth?
12477.
William, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner, and he found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please, sir.
Appoint the public defender. Bond on the warrant, of course, is no bond. I can't change that. I'll send you back to see Judge Toner. It will be the 9th of March. I think they told you the 20th. The right date is the 9th. And the public defender will come to the jail and see you before then, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Jason Kowalski. Morning, Jason. What's your date of birth?
9/17/76.
Jason, the charge is possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, if you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
I don't have anything with this position, Your Honor.
Okay. And Jason, I have an address for you on Sandlore Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
How long you been there?
6 months?
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No.
Okay. Set your bond at $500. I'll have you back in court on the... Okay. Hang on a second. What's the nominal date? Because the 16th of March is not right. That's a Friday. Oh, it is for her. She does the ring. On the 16th of March, make sure you contact the public defender if you get out, okay?
Okay.
Sorry. Larry McClinton. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
11/14/83.
Street charge this morning, felony domestic battery by strangulation and 2 counts of resisting without violence. There's probable cause for all 3 charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself, you wish to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. State.
Your Honor, I got a 2017 burglary of a structure, or conveyance, 2017 petty theft, 2017 grand theft motor vehicle. That's 2013 violation of probation related to, I believe, felony WSR. 2011 violation of probation as well. 2011 leaving the scene of the accident. 2011 DWSR, failure to appear in 2010. A disorderly conduct in 2007.
Okay. Mr. McClinton, are you currently on probation?
No.
Okay. I have an address for you on Broad Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yep.
How long you been there?
Few months.
All right. Mr. O'Brien lives there as well?
Yes.
Do you have a job these days?
Nope.
I'm going to set your bond on the felony domestic battery at $5,000 and $1,000 on each of the resisting charges. That's a total of $7,000. Condition of the bond on the first charge is that you have no contact with Mr. O'Brien. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. You don't contact him through any social media. You don't have a third person contact him. You don't go where he lives, don't go where he works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bonds can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That is not a decision he gets to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. He may tell them he's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney who will be handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, we're going to hold you at the jail today up until 4 p.m. so that if he wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only would you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. As far as that address on Broad Street goes, obviously if he stays there, you'll have to stay somewhere else if you get out until this case is resolved. You can go by one time to pick up your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you're going. To do that, however, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They'd meet you there with a deputy who would stand by while you picked up your things and got going where you're going. We'll have you back in court on the 20th of March. Very important, Mr. McClinton, that you contact the public defender's office before that day if you get out, okay?
Good.
Thank you. Andrew McFarland. Morning, Andrew. Date of birth?
11/12/92.
Andrew, the charge is retail theft. There's probable cause. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Represent myself.
Very good. State, what can you tell me?
I show an arrest from about a week ago for petty theft.
Yeah, he was in jail. I think they looked at film or something.
That's the only other
That's
thing
the
I
only
show.
thing. Okay. And Andrew, how long have you been in jail right now?
Since the 16th.
Okay. And can you guys tell me, is this other case also coming back on the 14th? Is that something that we can know? I know sometimes it sits in a bin downstairs. I just want to make sure he gets this thing. Yeah. Okay. All right. And Andrew, I'm going to leave your bond at $500. Do you remember, Andrew, is your other case coming back on March 14th?
It's the 7th.
Okay. I'm going to move this one to the 7th then too, okay? So we'll see you on the 7th with both cases.
All right, thank you.
Jonathan Murphy. Morning, Mr. Murphy. What's your date of birth?
5/9/89.
There's 2 charges this morning: driving on a suspended license, possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You plan on hiring private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
2010 dealing in stolen property, false verification of ownership. 2017 resisting and a violation of probation. 2017.
And Mr. Murphy, I have an address for you on Preston Hollow Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
22 years.
Do you have a job these days?
No, I'm unemployed at the moment.
I'll set your bond at $500 on both counts, so it's a total of $1,000. I'll have you back in court on March 14th. Make sure you contact the public defender when you get out, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Varun Patel. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
3/13/1989.
Sir, I have a charge of felony domestic battery by strangulation. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I will appoint the public defender. State, what can you tell me?
I don't show any history, Your Honor.
And Mr. Patel, I have an address for you on Terrytown Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
Almost a year.
All right. And does Deborah live there as well?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I work for the post office.
Okay. Very good. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. $1,000. Condition is that you have no contact with Deborah. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
I didn't hear well.
Say that again?
I did not hear well.
Okay. No contact means that you'll have no contact of any kind. You won't call, you won't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through any social media. You don't have a third person contact her. Don't go where she lives, don't go where she works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held without bond until the charge is resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That is not a decision she gets to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and request that the charges be dropped. She may tell them that she's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped, and you should not have contact. In addition, I'm going to hold you at the jail today up until 4 p.m., so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. As far as the home on Terrytown is concerned, as long as she stays there, you'll have to go someplace else. You can go by one time to collect your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to stay. To do that, however, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They will meet you there with a deputy. You'll have a few minutes to grab your things and get going where you're going. I'm going to have you back in court on the 20th of March. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Jacqueline Prater.
That's all.
Morning, Mr. Prater. What's your date of birth?
4/20/1997.
Mr. Prater, of 2 counts of retail theft this morning, there's probable cause for each count. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Myself, sir.
All right. Statement, please tell me.
Looks like he's the co-defendant with the Cruz person. I show a history out of Tennessee. 2016 violation of probation, failure to appear. Looks like that was related to a 2017 theft case. 2017 trespassing, and another failure to appear in violation of probation. And that, I believe, is the extent of it. Now, there's a retail theft out over, this is Wisconsin. Kenosha.
That's Wisconsin.
Yeah. That's for 2016. That's the.
All right. And Mr. Prater, you've been staying anywhere in particular or living outdoors? What's going on?
Yes, sir. I've been living homeless. I'm originally from Tennessee.
Okay.
I've been living homeless up here.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $500 on each, just where it's set now. That's a total of $1,000. You'll be back in court on the 14th of March. Okay?
Did you want
I had something, sir. I already got 2 other accounts on the 7th.
Oh, do you?
On the 7th,
okay.
too.
Yep.
Yeah.
No problem. No problem. I'll move it to the 7th. Okay?
Thank you very much,
Good.
sir.
I'll see you on the 7th.
He was quicker on the draw than I was.
Jacob Ravi. Morning, Jacob. What's your date of birth?
7/25/59.
And Jacob, this morning the charge is aggravated battery on a pregnant female. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
PD, please.
I'll appoint the public defender, Steve.
I don't show any convictions, Your Honor.
Okay. And Jacob, I have an address for you on WPA Road in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
A year.
Okay. And Gabrielle lives there too?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I sell things on eBay.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond, Jacob, at $2,500. The condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Gabrielle. Did you hear me explain what no contact means?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I'm going to hold you till 4 p.m. So if she wants to serve you with a civil injunction, we know where to find you. I'll have you back in court on the 20th of March. Of course, as long as she's staying on WPA Road, you'll have to stay somewhere else. You can go by one time to collect your things. but you must contact the sheriff's office first, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good, thank you.
I think that's it. Okay.
Brian Severese. Morning, Brian. What's your date of birth?
12/16/79.
Brian, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to change the date. I'll have you back to see Judge Toner on the 9th of March. Looks like they told you the 20th. We'll have you back on the 9th. PD will come see you before that, okay? Richard Schreier.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Richard. What's your date of birth?
8/28/84.
Richard, you're here on a warrant that I signed. I found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'll take the PD, sir.
Okay, so what's, he has an open case. What's it on 3-9 for? That's Jeff Ruby, right? No, that's me. There's a motion.
Yeah, I have a motion on the 9th.
Okay. What kind of motion? What kind of motion?
It's a motion to change the probation.
Oh, okay, it was something you filed, Richard?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's move that case and this case to the 7th. So I'll have both your cases back on the 7th. Richard, I'm sorry, did you tell me you wanted the public defender, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'll appoint the public defender. Bond, of course, is going to stay at no bond. I'm going to have you back on the 7th of March. I'll have both your cases there so we can deal with them both and see where we go from there, all right?
All right, thank you, sir.
That should do it.